Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon Rodzu, and we're finally on chapter 10, so this is going to determine if I get the bad ending or good ending first. But either way, I'm gonna see both endings regardless. So in the last episode, I almost died because, you know, Rod and Lucette kissed, and that was really disturbing to me, but yeah, other than that, it seems Lucette has figured out the ending to the Little Mermaid fairy tale, which is if she wants her legs back, she has to kill the prince, the person she loves, in order to get her legs back, her tail back. In Rod's case, he needs to kill Viorica in order to get his voice back and everything go back to normal. We tried to confront Rod about it, but he was acting weird. Then we ran into Emmeline and she was acting like she's in a trance with a knife in her hand. So something went down, and then Varg is just like, I don't know what Fritz is doing, to be honest, but we're gonna find out. Alright, before we get started, okay, that wasn't alcohol, I don't know why I did that. I stopped in my tracks when I see Sir Mythos standing just in front of me of the main door to the throne room. He looks at me expectantly as I approach. Sir Mythos? Good evening, Your Highness. Such a lovely night tonight, isn't it? Only half an hour left before you will turn 18. This bitch! He's just like, oh, I can like kill two birds with one stone. He'll probably fuck Rod over, and at the same time, I got the crystal. That's what he's thinking. What a dick. Did you not forget our deal, princess? Come midnight, I'll be requesting your aid in exchange for helping the prince break his curse. I clenched my hands into tight fists. Helping the prince break his curse? Rod killing someone is not what I wanted. Sir Mythos puts a finger to his lips. You wouldn't want to attract attention of the knights, would you? There would be quite a bit of explaining to do then. I glare at him, then take a deep breath and lower my voice. You did not tell me that breaking Rod's curse meant killing somebody. Oh? But I am only honoring the end of the deal. Perhaps you should have done your research before agreeing. Okay, you know, as shady as Mythos is, he has a point. Lucette should have, like, done some research or asked more information from him. I know this bitch won't give anything, but, like, at least try, you know what I mean? Because she was just like, yeah, sure, I'll take the deal, even though you're shady as fuck, it's fine, like, that's what she did. The grin on his lips never wavers, but I can see the amusement in his eyes. I relied entirely on the story Emmeline told me, and that was my biggest mistake. I should have read the full fairy tale. But now it means you finally know the full story of the Princess Fairy Tale, To break his curse, Prince Rod must kill his beloved with the knife his sister has brought him, just like in the fairy tale. Sir Mythos continues to smile at me. I realize that he is speaking slowly, like one might speak to a child. So condescending, no. Wait, I start to realize this. I knew it! This guy is like, you know, wasting time just so that Emily can get to Rod faster. You're stalling, you're such an ass. I start to realize that Sir Mythos is purposely drawing out this conversation to stall me. I need to go. Mythos does not stop me when I slide past the open doors to the throne room. Oh god. The first thing I see when I enter the throne room is Rod. He is standing in the middle of the area with Emmeline in his arms. Is she alright? Rod gently placed Emmeline onto the throne. He leans down to look more closely at her sleeping face, then reaches down to take the object in her hand before he faces me. I can see the metallic glimmer in his hand, and I know that he is holding the knife Emmeline brought with her. Where did she even get this knife? He pauses to stare at it, then turns suddenly, eyes widening at some sight in another part of the room. I follow his gaze to the corner of the room where Viorica floats in midair. Oh! Her eyes are closed and her hands clasped, but as if she was sleeping. Viorica? But how? Such a pleasant surprise, isn't it? Sir Mythos walks into the throne room, with his hands clasped behind his back. You! Good evening, Your Highness. Is this your doing? Sir Mythos just smiles at him pleasantly. Rod only glares back at him. Guards! Sir Mythos clicks his tongue and chuckles. Yo, he's such a Peter, oh my god, he's exactly like Peter Baelish, it's not even funny. If you've read A Song in Ice and Fire or you've watched Game of Thrones, you know that. He's exactly like him. Now I'm kind of wondering if the writers for Daisuke, or I should say Cinderella Phenomenon, got any inspiration from Peter Baelish. Because he's doing the exact same thing he did to Ned Stark. I find this really funny. My apologies, Your Highness, but no one will be able to hear you no matter how loud you shout. Not even your witch friend will hear anything through my magic. He knows Delora is here. Well, yeah, because you two were like shouting in the hallway. I glanced around the room to notice that Sir Mythos created his silent green barrier. This is the same magic he used yesterday. Now, let us get back to the matter at hand. You are running out of time, Prince Rod. It would be a shame to see you perish here after the princess went through the trouble of asking me to save your life. Lucette, what is he talking about? The princess didn't want you to die, so she asked me to help you break your curse. Sir Mythos spreads his arms, gesturing both towards Emlyn and Viorica. And so, I have been kind enough to set the stage and gather its actors for what I hope will be a wonderful finale. I can't help but wonder how this fairy tale will end. Why would you do this, Lucette? I didn't know it meant killing Viorica, I swear! This is why I came here, to stop you! I told you so many times there was nothing you could do to help me, and yet you still refuse to listen to me. Well, it's not like you told her! Because I refuse to let you die, can you not see that you're important to me, Rod? Oh my, what a scandal! Lucette. I turned to Sir Mythos and stared daggers at him. I asked you to help Rod. Why did you have to involve Emlyn in this? It was a necessary requirement that the princess would be the one to give him the knife, Your Highness. It is, after all, the mermaid's sister who brought her the knife to kill her beloved. So that's how she knew about all of this. She came here crying and begging me to break my curse because she didn't want me to die. I almost wanted to do it. But I could never kill someone. That is why I'll always refuse to break my curse, even if I really want to live. Perhaps I miscalculated. Oh well, that can be remedied. Sir Mythos waves his hand. His fingers begin to glow subtly with magic. Oh great. What are you? Ugh! Rod! A faint green glow surrounds Rod as he doubles over. What are you doing to him? What I should have done to begin with. The witch who cursed him said that he would do this out of his own accord, but seeing as he refuses, I am going to have to bend the rules slightly. So he's gonna control him, right? Rod stands abruptly and begins walking towards Viorica, the knife in his hand glistening beneath the patches of scattering moonlight in the room. Princess, he's gonna kill Viorica! Stop this, Sir Mythos! Where's Delora when you need her? I run towards Rod and wrap my arms around his waist in an attempt to stop him, but whether through magic or his own strength, he continues onwards. I end up being dragged behind him. Rod, snap out of it! Rod! I must kill her. His gaze is so glassy and then his words are so mechanical that he sounds nothing like himself. No! Mythos, stop this, I am ending our deal! My apologies, Your Highness, but not even as I can dispel my magic once it's been casted. This guy's lying, like, seriously. I will only fade its own violation once what needs to be done has been transpired. That, or perhaps as most unlikely circumstances, the prince will simply shake the spell off himself. Through Mythos' words, his expression is anything but. In fact, he looks amused by it all. Not so fast. Who is that? Delora? Yeah! A crimson ball of light rushes towards Mythos. He waves his hand through the air and is barely able to conjure a shield to protect himself from Delora's magic. Delora! It wasn't exactly easy to find you all, especially with all the silencing spells. Such a nuisance. It's not that important. Help me stop Rod! Did it work? Frost slowly appeared beneath Rod's feet, spreads up his legs, freezing him in place. What? Oh, okay. I sighed with relief as I collapsed onto the floor. My arms are sore with the effort trying to hold Rod back. Mythos clicks his tongue as he faces Delora. I don't believe you were invited to this play, traitor. Whoa! Light gathers around Mythos' hands. A moment later, he releases the energy towards her. Delora, in turn, conjures the barrier, successfully protecting herself from Mythos' magic. I always did fancy myself a party crasher. Still, to think that you were alive this whole time? Myth. Myth? His real name. He is one of the Tenenbaum-Bear's servants. Myth? That's your real name? Okay, more like Mint, but okay. This person was Mother's servant? Allow me to correct you. I am her only faithful servant. I am nothing like the ungrateful bastards who betrayed her to the fairies. Who is he talking about? Probably Delora. Well, whatever it is you're planning, forget about it. There's no way we're letting you get away with it. Oh? Well, do try your best. But first, as a reminder, I am the superior witch here. Energy cracks in the air as sparks begin to form around his hand. The spell is taking longer than his other spells. I noticed Delora worry moments before she is able to cast a shield on herself. This is not good. Mythos releases the bolts of lightning in Delora's direction. Whoa, what happened? The impact causes both the shield and the ground to shudder. Delora! The smoke clears and miraculously, Delora stands unharmed. Oh, thank God. I thought she died. I'm like, come on. No sooner has a sigh escaped my lips than another frightening sound echoes across the room. There's a loud crack, and I realize that it's coming from Delora's shield. Everything that has happened in a blur. Delora is trying to hold the shield up when Mythos casts another spell at it. It shatters and the magic seeps through and hits her directly. Oh my God, is she dead? Really now? Have you forgotten the most important lesson in defense magic? Always conjure another shield before being hit by a powerful spell. Or, oh, I do apologize. Perhaps I did not give you enough time to cast another shield? How thoughtless of me. Delora lays on the floor unmoving. Is she dead? What? I'm about to rush to her side when Mythos moves to stand in front of me with a malicious grin on his face. It will do you no good to be in denial, princess. How could you? How could you hurt another witch? Wow, he can't. Okay, you're a real asshole. I really don't like you. No matter how, you know, I appreciate his shady tactics at times, but Jesus Christ, you just killed Delora. The fuck? It's not a crime to destroy a traitor. He looks back at Delora with clear disdain. Then he sets his eyes back on me and raises his eyebrows. It is foolish of you to try to stop this. You wanted this, and I will not allow you to renegade our deal. The prince will break his curse, and you will help me. Help you. Yes, I went to great pains to make sure Alcaster kept you safe, just so you could repay me. You said that you made a deal with Alcaster to borrow the knight's assistance. And what would I need knight's assistance for, dear princess? I never needed the knights. I just needed Alcaster to keep you safe. I would have gotten rid of him myself if it wasn't for the king who would eventually find me. So this whole time you were only trying to keep me safe? To use me? Use is such a simple, ugly word. Remember, I just wanted you to help me. Princess! I turn around and realize that Delora's spell on Rod had faded and that he is only now a few feet away from Viorica. Rod! I force myself to run towards him as fast as I can manage. I will not let you kill anyone! I do not know what I must do to stop him, so the first thing I did comes to mind. I put myself between Rod and Viorica just as he's about to plunge the knife into her. Oh my gosh, you're gonna die! Princess! I'm dead! I'm fucking dead! Oh shit! I got the bad end! Yo, that is messed up! What? My body is wrecked with pain, and the moment the blade sinks into my shoulder. Ugh! I collapse onto the floor and hold into my injured shoulder. I can feel my blood seeping between my fingers. Okay, I thought she got stabbed in the stomach or something. That's not that bad, I guess. Fool, you could have been easily killed. I do not care. I love Rod, and I would never let him do something like that he would regret for the rest of his life. I cringe. Yeah, me too. Tears cloud my vision as the pain worsens. Lucette! I feel Rod's arms around me as he cradles me in his chest. I look up at him to see that his eyes are fixed on my bleeding shoulder. Rod looked at me with anguish. He grabbed a handkerchief from his pocket and pressed it to my shoulder. Can't believe I did this. I stare in shock as his lips move. It is not Sebi speaking, but him. What? Oh, your voice. You broke your curse. But how? A bright light envelops us for a few moments, and I have closed my eyes against the brightness. I reach out to grab the necklace, and it is gone. I open my eyes in panic, but the necklace is definitely not there. Lucette, the glass slippers. I glance down to see a pair of smooth glass slippers on my feet. Hey, you broke your curse! Alright. You broke your curse by breaking mine. I hear the sound of shattering glass and turn to see Mythos staring at a broken vial. What is that? Frost has begun to form at his feet, and now he is spreading up his legs. What is happening? Oh, thank God she's not dead. Oh my God. I can't take it if Delora dies too, man. Because in Karma's route, that was really bad. And I was scared like someone else was gonna die in Rod's, but luckily that's good thing that doesn't happen here, at least for now. Always have a backup, as they say. Seems like you're the one who've forgotten the basics of combat. Never turn your back on an opponent unless you're sure that they're dead. Your bloated ego does wonders in turning the tides of battle. Delora is now back on her feet and walking towards Mythos. She dusts off her dress as she moves. Delora is unharmed? You? But how? Did you really think I'd forget to conjure another shield? The frost has now made its way up to Mythos' neck. Inconceivable! A lowly witch like you could never cast as powerful as a spell. Delora gestures at the glass shards on the floor. That's where Parfait's new special potion comes in handy. It makes my magic more powerful. Oh, you got wrecked! The second most basic lesson is to never underestimate your opponent. Looks like you were a terrible pupil. Jesus Christ. Mythos opens his mouth to speak, or perhaps to scream, but by the time he opens his mouth, the frost completely devours him, leaving him nothing but an icy sculpture. That's good. Dolores, Lucette has her bleeding stopped? I think so. Can I make it what they say after that? My world starts spinning and everything starts to blur, so I close my eyes. I feel Dolores' hand on my forehead. The warmth relaxes me somewhat. We got you, princess. Hang in there, Lucette. My body comes heavier by the second as I lean my head against Rod's chest. And then I am feeling myself fall into a never-ending darkness. Am I dead? When I open my eyes, the first thing I see are soft rays of sunlight sweeping through the window. I am in my own room? I attempt to sit up but cringe when I feel a sharp pain in my shoulder. I reach out to touch it, only to realize that it has been neatly bandaged. Despite my injury, my body oddly feels light. Stronger than it ever was before. I remember, I placed myself in front of Vairika to stop Rod from hurting her. But where did this energy come from? The door opens when Emmeline walks in with a tray of food in her hand. She stops when she realizes that I am staring at her, and nearly drops the tray in a rush to stand beside me. Lucette, you're finally awake! I was so worried about you. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. What are you talking about? It was mine, not yours. I remember bringing the knife to Rod, but I can't remember much of what happened before or after that. When I woke up in the throne room, I saw you there bleeding in Rod's arms. I thought you were going to... The rest of Emmeline's words break into pieces as she begins to cry. I'm so sorry for forgetting about you. Aw. I made you work hard while you were my personal maid, and... I shake my head with a sigh. It's not your fault that I was cursed, Emmeline. But... I look at her tear-stained face. She is not at fault here, yet she's crying. She really is a good person. I spread my arms. Lucette? I turn away, suddenly embarrassed. Oh, she's trying to hug her! You look like you needed a hug. Emmeline stares at me for a few moments. I am about to reconsider when suddenly her arms are around me. I'm so happy. I hug her back and stroke her hair. I cannot help but smile at the warmth that spreads in my chest. Oh, it's so sweet! Now they're officially sisters. I'm so happy. Aw, that's adorable. Thank you. Emmeline pulls back. Her face is full of concern. What will happen to you and Rod now? I saw how close you two got. Oh god, yeah, that's true. That's really awkward. And saw how Rod looked at you last night. Wait, last night? So today is... My birthday's the day I become the bearer. Is that the reason why I feel so strangely energized? Oh! Emmeline walks up to one of my dolls on the shelf and picks up the doll she had placed there months ago. Happy birthday! I meant to give you this earlier as a surprise before you were cursed. Anyway, I know it's not pretty as the others from your doll collection, but I hope you like it. It's beautiful, thank you. I take the doll in my arms as a knock sounds on the door. Come in. The door opens and Rod steps inside. His eyes widen as he sees Emmeline. Em? Oh, I was just about to leave. Emmeline slides off the bed and heads for the door, but before she closes it, she turns to us once again. I know how complicated this will be for both of you, but I want you to know that I will support you. I mean, this is weird, but at least... Okay, Emmeline's a nice sister. Can we just all agree with that? She's a very loving sister and a good person. So, my lips are sealed. Emmeline wakes before finally closing the door behind her. There's an awkward silence in the room before Rod approaches me and sits on the edge of the bed. How are you feeling? It still hurts, but I'll be fine. What's wrong? I am just not used to hearing your voice from your own lips. Oh. But I see that you still have Sebi with you. I've grown too fond of him to completely set him aside. He's helped me through a lot. Bummer, I can't read his thoughts anymore. There was never any need for you to do that in the first place. Is that so? Rod shakes his head and sighs silently. So what happened last night? How is it you were able to break your curse? You did not kill Vairika. In the original fairy tale, the little mermaid could retain her humanity only if the prince loved her back. Though it never happened in the fairy tale, it is still an element of her curse. But still, because the prince never fell in love with her, the only way for the mermaid to live was to kill him. I fell in love with you unknowingly. When you told me that you loved me as well last night, that broke my curse. Oh. Okay, I'm trying not to cringe too much because this is supposed to be like the good ending, you know what I mean? So I'll try not to. I feel my cheeks turn warm. Rod coughs, his own cheeks flushed. So there you have it. The Little Mermaid has never had a fairy tale ending, but I did. I never had to kill Viorica. But because my curse started with Viorica, I assumed it had to end with her too. It turns out the person I love just needs to love me back. I was mistaken. It never needed to be Viorica. Okay, that's good, because if it was just her, that would be really messed up, you know what I mean? So that's interesting. I see. We stare at each other for a few moments, the awkward silence returning. I change the subject as quickly as I can. What became of Sir Mythos? Delora brought him back to Lady Parfait. She is the only one who will properly punish him. And what of Viorica? Delora returned her to home yesterday. She does not remember anything that had happened. Everything is back to how it was then? You are back to being my stepbrother? Cannot help but feel a crest and fall of the truth. Blood binds, but so does sibling bonds. Rod and I can never have what either of us want. I don't want to forget these feelings I have for you, Lucette. If I have never made that deal with the witch, then maybe we might be able to be together. But had you not actually been cursed, our paths would never have been crossed. I reached for Rod's hand. Oh my god! He laces his fingers through mine with a small smile. Let's pretend it's platonic and family friendly here. I love you, Rod, like the brother you are. Okay, family friendly. I love you too, sister of mine, family friendly. But Rod leans forward. Rod leans forward and kisses my cheek. I know. 1 month later. Okay. Ever since I broke my curse and became the new Tenebrae bearer, I have been training under Parfait and Dolores so that I can learn to control my newfound powers. I never wanted this responsibility, but it is a burden I was born into. It is necessary that I help maintain the balance between light and dark that has been missing for so long. Now that I am the new Tenebrae bearer, Parfait wants the two of us to work together in maintaining that peace. Do not wish to curse any pain or suffering to the people, especially to the people whom I cherish. Sometimes I still wonder what Sir Mythos wanted me to do for him, but that is not important to me anymore. I think it's obvious he just wanted everybody to be cursed, you know what I mean? Especially people who are not witches. I think that's what he was going for. I still have much to learn right now as the new bearer. My priority is to get rid of the Fairytale Curse once and for all. For the time being, everyone at the Martian waits patiently for the day that I will learn to lift their curses. Since everything transpired, my relationship with Ophelia and Emmeline has improved. Emmeline is fond of calling me best sister, even though I am the only one she has. That's kind of cute though, I can't lie. My relationship with the king, however, has yet to be mended. I am doing my best to open up to him and give him a chance, but the efforts are slow going. I do not ask why he acted the way he did in the past, but I know that in order to move forward, I must let go of the past. That's good. It is finally time. I have been waiting for this all day. I head back to my room to change into a dress of something less conspicuous. Afterwards, I head into town into the forest for my designated meeting. Oh my god, so she's dating Rod in secret, right? Is that what they're doing right now? In a relief for the king that has allowed me to leave the palace on my own, I would not have been able to come here with guards. I guess me being the Tenebrae bearer puts him at ease. If the title reassures him and allows me to come out here on my own accord to meet Rod, then I am not complaining. Rod still uses the secret passageway as he always did to sneak out of the palace. Emmeline knows about our secret meetings and helps cover for our disappearances if necessary. It makes me happy that Emmeline approves of our relationship, that we do not have to keep it a secret from absolutely everyone. At first, Rod and I both attempt to keep our distance without making it seem too obvious to everyone around us. Though Ophelia seems to suspect something is going on between the two of us, she has not asked questions. Emmeline was not happy with our decision. She said that she felt terrible that we'd be forced to let go of something so precious on account of our titles. She was right. More than that, it was difficult for the two of us to deny our feelings for each other. In the end, we came up with a solution, even if it's temporary. We decided to secretly meet up in the forest once in a while so that we could be together without any pretenses. Even just for a little while. When I caught sight of Rod, I run towards him and throw my arms around his neck. I feel Rod snuggle his face into the crook of my neck. May I have this dance? Okay. You know, this is nice and all, but it's just weird. Okay, it's just flat out weird for me. I take Rod's hand and begin to dance into the silent song. The first time I danced with him, it was to prove a point. It was when neither of us liked each other. I remember this as I stare at him. What? Is there something on my face? I was just remembering how much you hated me back then, and now, here we are. Fate sure loves to toy with us. Yeah, man, sure loves to toy with me too. And playing this route. I smile at Rod. Just for a little longer. I want to be by his side. I do not know how long we can keep this up, but every day I wish for the same thing. I wish that I can live my life openly loving Rod. I wonder, would that dream ever be possible? Alright, yeah, fucking god, it's over, okay? If I'm being completely real right now, since they're living in like kind of like the Victorian era, the kind of like very medieval area, as you would say, where titles are very important and royal families and shit like that. If I learned anything from reading a lot of fantasy books and stuff like that, it's even in history too, where like people would marry, especially the royal families, they would marry within their own family, so cousins would get married and shit like that. So I mean, in the context of their time in the game, it's not like too weird, but I find it interesting that everyone finds it weird, you know what I mean? That because they're step siblings. I figured it would be more acceptable in this game since the time period it's in, but still, for me, I'm just thinking it as if I had a stepbrother and then all of a sudden we liked each other, that'd be too fucking weird for me. I could not do that. Anyway, despite that, I thought Lucette died, but that was a really interesting turn of events, how the good ending turned out to be, and I liked it. I liked the twist of it. And I like how they incorporated The Little Mermaid with Rod, because that is my favorite fairy tale, the original one. I'm not talking about the Disney one only. Like, I actually like the original one, even though it's really messed up, but I think it's interesting. Anyway, let's take a look at the bad ending and see how terrible it is. Alright, so this is the bad ending, Silent Farewell. When I push open the door, I find Rod kneeling down. Emmeline lies on the floor in front of him, unconscious. Emmeline! She's fine, she's just asleep. Something glints in Rod's hand. From the distance, I know what it is, the same knife that Emmeline was holding earlier. Out of the corner of my eye, I see someone slouching against one of the pillars. Viorica? I rush to her side, then sigh in relief when I see the gentle rise and fall of her chest. She's alive. How did she get here? It was Sir Mythos' plan. I remember walking back to my room after talking with you. I blacked out. When I came back, I was already in here with Viorica. I already checked on her. She seems to be under some sort of spell. Em came here a few moments ago, passing me the knife, and then simply collapsed after begging me to kill Viorica. I think Em is under a spell as well. Rod glances down at the knife in his hand, expression glassy. Em almost convinced me. She pleaded that I not leave any of them behind. It's not if I want to die and leave my family, but... He stares at the knife for a few moments, then curses as he slams his fist into the ground. I can't kill her. Why would Sir Mythos want me to do this? Guilt floods my chest, making it difficult to breathe. I was the one who asked Sir Mythos to help Rod. He said he knew how to break his curse, but I did not realize in order to break his curse, he needed to kill the person he loved. I relied entirely on the story Emmeline told me that was my biggest mistake. I should have read the full fairy tale. I could never kill her. Such a shame. Sir Mythos emerges from the shadows, looking at us with disappointment. To break his curse, Prince Rod must kill his beloved with a knife. With the knife his sister has brought to him, just like in the fairy tale. Mythos turns to Rod. And here I thought your sister might be able to change your mind. You were, after all, supposed to do this on your own accord. I was wrong. I shouldn't have underestimated your stubbornness. Casting a spell on you would solve this problem entirely. Why are you doing this? Well, Mythos shifts his gaze to me. Rod follows his gaze to me and raises an eyebrow. There's no use in lying to him now. I asked Mythos to help me break your curse. You what? I didn't know you were meant to kill Viorica. Rod shakes his head, his face marred with disappointment. Anyone who tries to help me will inevitably make things harder for me, Lucette. I wanted to help you, Rod. I already made up my mind. If you really want to help me, then please respect my decision. Please. Shame. And here I thought I'd be witnessing a dramatic finale tonight. Sir Mythos starts to walk away, and I am close to chasing it after him, but then I realize there's nothing else I can do. Oh, I didn't, I thought that Mythos would cast the spell to make it some way fucked up. Not, like, exactly breaking his curse, but you know what I mean? That's interesting. Rod has made his decision. I feel my heart plummet as I slowly nod at him. So, there's really no other way? I could never break my curse like this. Viorica was my first love, and my good friend. And besides that, my love for her faded a long time ago. She's been replaced. You've been my beloved for quite some time already, Lucette. But it doesn't matter, does it? I will die soon. Rod, I feel the heavy weight in my chest and some force crushing by my heart. I'm sorry. I promised myself that I would save your life, but I failed. I blink back the tears that are brimming on my eyes. Rod stands, then moves over to stand before me. He places his hand on my cheek. You've done nothing wrong, Lucette, so please don't blame yourself. What did I expect to happen? If Rod had killed Viorica today, he would have carried that burden for the rest of his life, and all because I asked the witch to make him do something he did not want to do in the first place. Rod searched for Sevi to place him in my hand. Once the clock strikes 12, I'm going to disappear. It's really a shame that I'll be disappearing on your birthday. Oh, that's messed up. That's actually kind of messed up. It would have been nice to celebrate this one with you. Oh no. Promise you'll take care of my family for me. There must be another way. You can't just go yet. I'm sorry, Lucette. Cannot bring myself to consider what is happening. Panic engulfs me in the senses as I stare at Rod. Rod is becoming translucent. Oh, he just fades away? Rod, you are... If I could only be with you and everyone else just for a bit longer. Despite the fact that his words waver, when Rod looks at me and his smile is bright and warm, my vision blurs with tears is gathering in my eyes. I like you, Lucette. If we had more time together, I think I would have grown to truly love you. Oh no. In an instant, his body dissolves into soft light orbs. The light gathering in the air then begins to fade. I'm so sorry. Well, wow, that's actually kind of sad. I expected it to be more in like a different way. Like, you know what I mean? Like Mythos doing something? I don't know, I just expected that. Still, in my opinion, so far, Claude has the worst ending because that was really messed up. That was really, really bad. So yeah, I'm gonna start Rumple's route next because that's what the one I was supposed to originally do after Claude, but I'll just do his next. And if you guys enjoyed this episode of Cinderella Phenomenon, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the companions, and please let me know what you guys thought about both endings, the good and bad ending. And, if you think Rod is worse, like his bad ending is worse than Claude, just let me know that. And if you guys would like to support the channel on Patreon, there is a link in the description. You can check it out. You get early access to videos are Patreon only, the Discord server to come talk to me, and a bunch of other cool stuff. Or if you would prefer to check out my store as well, that's another way you can support the channel. Okay, so I'm gonna take a bit of a break from Cinderella, and then we're gonna do Rumple's route. But in the meantime, if you guys would like to check out my new Let's Play for a murdered soul suspect, I highly recommend that, since that is a new mystery game that I'm gonna be playing. It's not horror. I know it looks like horror, but yeah. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Is this the part where it's gonna be like, hey, let him attack so we can help Diana, or just stay back and let Diana die? Is that what's gonna happen here? Okay, let me see if I can let him attack. I swear to God. You smelled it so delicious, and... Oh God!